All right, kicking off with a little standard this morning. It's a Meathook Massacre world, and the rest of us are living in it. This is a Jund mid-range deck from the new Capenna Set Championship over the weekend. We have done the unspeakable. We have gone on the internet and downloaded a deck. This is card for card, the deck list that one of the top 8 competitors was playing in that tournament. Got a bunch of just good Magic cards here. Esika's Chariot, Fable, the Mirror Breaker, Black Market Tycoon to wrap up into them. One kind of neat piece of technology here is we've got the Incinerator, which is kind of a fancy payoff for Gala Greeters getting kind of large. Allows you to kind of sidestep any chump blockers the opposing team can be putting into play. Voltage Surge, definitely a format staple, especially with the readily available artifacts from things like Fable of the Mirror Breaker and Black Market Tycoon. So let's go ahead and pop on into some matches with this and see how this feels today. One of the things to note from the Set Championship this past weekend, the Set Championship was a dual format event. And they don't make it super easy to kind of distinguish, okay, which decks were doing well in Standard and which decks were doing well in Historic, which was the second format. So it's very possible for deck lists that ultimately aren't very good to make it through to higher records if the person playing it had a strong performance with their deck in the opposite format. Jake of the Cosmos. So the 22 months. Good morning, good morning. 9 by 9. I could have 9 kids by now if I hated my wife. I think you need a little bit of a break in the middle tubos. Maybe 8 kids? 7 perhaps? 9 would probably be pushing it. Maybe statistically some of the 7 would have been twins. Thanks for sticking around through it all. We're fine with 2. 2's a pretty good number. Own is cool. Thanks for 37 months. Welcome back. I will say that the scaling of children from 1 to 2 is definitely more difficult than the scaling of children from 2 to 3. 2 to 3 definitely felt easier than 1 to 2. Our opponent wants to ruin our day, Chip. Missed the 3rd land drop. Wonderful start here. Go ahead and do this. Attack them. Well, it doesn't feel good to be resource inefficient this turn, that's for sure. So if I want to play Jinnie, I have to play this on green. That's probably worthwhile though, huh? I go tap treasure token, Jinnie makes a pupper. I get to put a counter on here. Yeah, let's not offer that trade. It's bad. Yeah, Jinnie versus Charm is definitely a choice. Yeah, twins and triplets seems impossible. Shout outs to the parents that make it through that. Oh, that's interesting, Weens. So I assume you're like watching on a Chromecast or something and chatting from another device. I do that frequently. I'll like put Twitch on my TV and then put chat only on my phone. But Twitch chat has an icon now that tells me you're watching without video, but you commented on what's going on. So I assume that's not the case. I guess you could have heard me describing it if you've got audio on without video. That's a neat new feature. Silly Cheese, thank you for the 40 months. Welcome back. No, I chose that icon to troll another streamer. It's completely voluntary. I take it all back. Twitch sucks. Why would they add the option to do that to the platform? God damn it, Twitch. I'm sitting here trying to pay them a compliment for improving their shit. That should not be something you're allowed to toggle on. That should just be something that automatically gets turned on when you're watching it with chat only toggle. So close and yet so far away. In fact, I'm gonna take a screenshot of this and send it to my Twitch rep and say this is not okay. This is not okay. Sorry, can't hear you. Oh god, apparently there's lots of them. God, shit. Alright, so they made this a 4/4. This is highest converted mana cost, right? Highest mana value. So they get to pick if there's a tie. God, that's awful. I guess we'll do this, but this reflection of the Kiki Jiki is just about to completely torch us, right? Time is fake. What's going on, Pierogi? Thanks for hanging out for over a year. Reflection plus Skycleave is nasty. Okay, so this is definitely an all Doomblades on deck matchup. We need a couple of meat hooks to clean up when they go wide on occasion. Riveteers Charm seems quite bad. I know I just said it's all Doomblades on deck, but not having control over where my Doomblades are going is really awful, like we saw in that last game. Oh, this is probably sweet. It kills a thing and then it destroys an enchantment too. So this can like clean up an entire Fable the Mirrorbreaker, huh? The J Rock. Thank you for that absurdly generous tier 3 and thanks for the over 3 years. Welcome back. What about a mute smell icon? Yeah, I think Unleash is good here. It could be right to leave Valki in for some card advantage at the top end. Maybe Valky's better than this. This is kind of just a kill you card. And like they're gonna gain life on occasion, so I think being super linear is not good. Hey, Tyrant. Thanks for chilling for an entire year. Welcome back. Appreciate the 12 months. They choose sword to go with that shield. Aimbot. ba, beep it up, ba doo, ba, beep it up, ba doo, ba, beep it up, ba doo. Yeah, yeah. Just attacking for 2 here. Holding up a treasure does not seem particularly well. Well, now my name is ruined. Wow. I sang you a song and you tell me your name is ruined? That's sad. What's going on, Smearl? Thanks for the 4 months. Welcome back. You go ahead and make a hasty cat here. We'll attack. We'll make a pupper. Oh, combat trick. We're playing around a sweep out of their archetype, so Chariot, go. Definitely seen crazier things than Sweeper out of runes on the arena ladder. Lifelink up. They have a couple more runes here. They could stabilize this board. They get this up to a 4/4. Yeah. To draw another piece of spot removal, fam. Oh wait, are they attacking? Attacking would be good for us. Rats. Never lucky. We're just attacking with everything and letting them figure it out, right? We're hitting them for... This is exactly lethal at the moment. They're taking 12 and they're going to 12. Still taking 12. Also, the thing about Goldspan Dragon in this deck is like, what are you doing with the treasures, right? Oh, yeah, they could have lived if they would have blocked a 3 with their what's it called? Did I not get? I thought I put all of these in here. It's definitely a mistake not to have the other Unleash. Alandon, thank you for the over 3 years. Welcome back. Being a goal in mind with treasure tokens is not very billionaire-esque. I would be a very poor billionaire. Just collect them to collect them. What else do you need? I think we go black, red. Obviously, it's a little sad to not have, have a green, but... So this is smart. They're putting the 2 counters on the one they're not targeting with the rune. I didn't kill these proactively, which gave them an extra trigger, but this generator does card advantage because killing it in response to this meant that they didn't get to draw a card, so it never came into play. Hey, Swilvan, thanks for the 5 months. Happy Monday, welcome back. Kill this, and then attack the make a treasure. Yes, it was greedy to discard both my lands. I have some regrets. I'm Bon Jovi to Shillionaire. Nice. The old 500k. So, the thing about a deck like Runes is that Runes is exactly the style of deck that is made worse by the modern Magic the Gathering all-open decklist tournament format. Linear aggressive decks are less good when decklists are public, because a lot of the power of this kind of archetype is the fact that you basically get to get the jump on people in game 1 who don't get to mulligan appropriately or sideboard appropriately. And when you know in game 1, oh, this matchup is bad for me, you get to know, oh, I shouldn't keep this hand because my opponent's going to run me over, etc. Huh? Hey, Navier, thank you for the 50 months. Welcome back. What are the largest favor arguments regarding open deck lists? Well, you have to have open deck lists for competitive integrity purposes. Because if you don't have open deck lists, the people that get on coverage are at a competitive disadvantage because their deck lists were broadcast to the world. I also think, and for what it's worth, I think, just for my position is crystal clear, I think open deck lists are a net positive / good thing overall. Not only for the competitive integrity reason that I just listed, but also because, what's the word that I'm searching for? But also because, people with scouting teams have an advantage in situations otherwise. It comes down to who has more friends that can scout more things, basically, if you don't have open deck lists. Turf Doctor, thank you for the 9 months. I appreciate the 3/4 of the year. Welcome back. Navir, thanks for the over 4 years. I'll put my counter on there. Am I dead? Did I mess this up? I might be dead. I think I've died. The discarding my lands to the other thing kind of just put us a little bit too far behind. Yeah, because I can kill. Could have killed Kami and the Naturalist. Yeah, but then I still die to the Generous Visitor, so don't act like. Don't tell me I could have lived here. My mistake was not having more mana to do stuff sooner. You're right that we could have killed 2 other things, but I still only have 2 toughness and blocking here, and I'm at 3. So, like, this is going to be big enough with the trample to kill me. And if I play this spell out proactively, this thing actually gets bigger because they're not putting counters on other things. Yeah, a lot of trample runes was good. The fact that I should have prioritized killing their stuff sooner. I shouldn't have discarded both my lands. I should have just discarded my tapped land. Yes, open deck list tournament also make for less non-games overall. It just highlights the fact that a lot of Magic's aggressive decks are only successful due to the fact that they're able to generate non-games through information being hidden in game 1. Well, so scouting isn't cheating. It's just one of those things that just like doesn't need to exist, and you eliminate it as being a factor when you have open deck lists. And for people that don't understand what I mean by scouting, what was very common at the old Pro Tours where open deck list tournaments weren't a thing was that the big Magic teams that would have, you know, a dozen or more people on them, as soon as you finished your match in a given round, your job was to walk every table and record every archetype of everyone in the tournament to a digital spreadsheet for you and your teammates to have access to for good mulliganing for the rest of the tournament that the rest of the teams wouldn't have. So then you could see your pairing and go, oh, I'm playing this person. I'm going to go look up their archetype so I know how to mulligan. I think I'm going to chill here, actually. Yeah, it's one of those things that's definitely not cheating, but it also, like, is better without it being a thing. And, like, for what it's worth, obviously, SCG help is the reason Twitch turned into my job. So, like, I don't regret gaining notoriety there. But, like, for someone like me playing an SCG tournament, I was always at a disadvantage as someone who was making content unknown when I sat down to play in those tournaments, because everybody just knew the types of stuff I was likely to be playing because of who I was. Great Pax, thanks for the 22 months. Welcome back. The owl costume is always a 10 giveaway. Yeah, definitely true. Alright, I'm gonna Valki this turn in case there's a Goldspan Dragon in their hand. Magma Opus Negate. Feeling pretty dead, chat. This matchup seems miserable to impossible. I don't know how we ever keep up with this card. Much less most of the rest of what they have going on. Well, that worked out. Judge Charm here is a sweet answer to Goldspan, that's for sure. Oh, yeah, they're just gonna get to, like, reflection their reflections, right? I think Magic's last truly good standard format was before Fire Design. RTR and Guilds of Ravnica, near the release of Magic Arena from closed beta. It's pretty widely accepted as a pretty good standard format. Yeah, we're just super dead here. Makes Fire Design bad. I think the most concise way to summarize my personal feelings about Fire Design stuff is that Fire Design has largely made it so creature combat isn't important, which on a personal level has definitely reduced my overall enjoyment of the game. I find Magic the most fun when attacking and blocking are meaningful points of interaction. And this most recent set championship is a good example of, like, why that's really not the case in a lot of these games, right? Like, the decks that did well were largely combo decks that looked to go over the top of people, combo control, and then Meathook Massacre decks. Well, so combat's just the most interactive part of Magic, right? The one with the part with the most permutations of different interactions too. So, like, when that's not something that's reasonable to be doing, you lose out on a big facet of the game where you normally would be very interactive. Anna's a little unfortunate here, but I think this is keepable. Revolted Surge is something I want in my deck a bunch post-board in this match. It might be right to trim some of them. Wasn't RTR the standard format where you like draws? No, you're thinking that was 2 Ravnicas ago, Fnatic. You're thinking of, wait, did I mess it up? What was the Ravnica set that was it not RTR? I probably messed up the names. I'm talking about the Ravnica set 2018-2019. GR, Guilds of Ravnica. You're right. RTR was the format with blue-white control. But that format also had a lot of creature decks. When I talk about attacking and blocking being meaningful interaction being important, I'm not saying control can't exist. What I'm saying is it shouldn't be omnipresent and be everything. So you're correct that I was wrong when I said RTR, but also RTR wasn't what I was talking about. I said the year and I got the year right. Personally, chat, I'm really looking forward to Return to the Shadows of the Battle over Ravnica in 2023. The upcoming Magic set I'm most looking forward to personally. I just don't have green mana and I don't have removal spells. We're just gonna die to these gold span dragons. Going on, Moose. Thanks for the 26 months. Thanks for the upkeep on the Prime Playground. I'm gonna be honest, Dingazone, I didn't watch any of the coverage this weekend. I pulled up some deck lists and skimmed through them and we pulled one of them out, but competitive Magic isn't really a great spectator thing. It's the reason why the game failed as an esport. I mean, Magic not really being a good esports spectator thing doesn't really have anything directly to do with the client crashes, for what it's worth. You want kind of a searing take, LKR Moose. Wizards of the Coast could have done absolutely everything correct, and Magic still would not have made it like League of Legends or Valorant or Counter-Strike as an esport. Card games fundamentally do not work as spectator-only things. Games like League of Legends and Valorant and Counter-Strike Source are only successful esports because you can convince people to want to watch them that don't play them. Like regular sporting events. The majority of people that watch football don't play football themselves. The same is true for the more popular esports. There are a lot of people that watch them that don't actively play them. And that's just not true of card games. For card games, you are lost in terms of spectating if you don't play the game yourself. I probably need to save this Voltage Surge for one of these. Yeah, that's another thing, and that's even true of people that have experience with the game itself. It's hard for laymen to appreciate truly good plays. It's also hard to appreciate good plays. It's also hard to appreciate good plays in a game that has as much variance as Magic, because you'll frequently have good players make great plays, and they just get fucking mana screwed anyways in the game. It doesn't matter. Like, their good play was irrelevant, because the game was the game. I enjoy Commander / Brawl. No. I would enjoy the idea of Commander if it didn't cost so much money to get into. I think Magic is far too expensive to play as a casual game. Also, past just the cost of Commander, it's so difficult to balance Commander playgroups, right? Like, yeah, Rule 0 exists, but like showing up, I can show up to a new group of gamers with a board game and know that a good board game is going to generate a balanced, reasonable experience for everybody playing. And that's not true of Commander, right? Like, if you show up to a Commander night with a bunch of different people, it's difficult to impossible to know that you're going to have a level, fair playing experience for everybody involved. Can I get Meathook Massacred, chat? They have a Meathook next year. We're going to be a little bit behind. We'll still have this Dorko left over. When people ask me if I play Commander, I usually just tell them I play Dice Throne. Oh, wow. We don't even get to keep the Underdog here. Brutal. It's the current standard metagame like. It's a complete and total massacre. Usually of the Meathook variety. Yeah, Dice Throne's like a board game Commander circuit. It's like a box set game where everything is balanced. The characters are $10 a piece, so it's super affordable. You basically get 16 decks for 160 bucks. Like, it's definitely my go-to when I want a multiplayer card game experience. Yeah, Dice Throne is good. If you're someone that wants a Commander-esque experience that's got good balance in it and is fun gameplay, Dice Throne is always my go-to recommendation. I could get punished. We're definitely ditching the land here. I could get punished for discarding this here. I'll ditch the Tycoon and keep the removal spells. Show me your secrets. The Night Elf is overtuned if they roll well. I mean, if you run good, sure, everything is good. And for keeping the Infernal Grasp here. I agree with that, Pro. Your commander seems really good as like having a loose set of rules to play with friends, essentially. I think like a very, very reasonable way to approach it. But like, as far as like a format showing up to a local game store to try and play casually with other people, it just seems like an absolute mess in terms of being able to balance a reasonable play experience without jumping through a lot of hoops. Also, just like, again, the cost, right? Like, if you don't proxy decks, even a cheap commander deck's like $100, right? And like $100 for one person to have something to play with is like, you know, it's like an expensive board game. On a board like this, maybe we leave some voltage surges in. I guess I do need ways to kill dragon, and this does kill the Kiki. We're gonna trim here. I actually haven't played King of Tokyo. You know what? Valki's probably not good here. In theory, the card advantage is good, but they've probably got negates and stuff post-board. You said the proxy word, someone might cancel. Fun fact, when I used to do paper magic content, I bought the color laser printer I have upstairs explicitly for running out sheets of proxies. 90+% of the decks we played on stream when we did paper magic content on this channel way back in the day were run off my laser printer the hour before we decided to fire up the stream. Or like 4 or 5 of us that would sit in the basement and cut the sheets with paper cutters and stuff sleeves with proxies. Calling the magic police right now, yep. Wee woo, wee woo. This is Watsy. We're at your door. I want to play this one on green. I don't want to play my Chariot into a Jawari disruption if I can avoid it here. Also, if they like slam Goldspan here, expecting to be able to protect it, we can Jund Charm it. Like to Unleash the Inferno. The people that get mad about people playing with magic proxies in a casual setting are people that need to be able to do mental gymnastics to justify to themselves the exorbitant amount that they paid for their actual Magic the Gathering cards. Or people, they're like, oh, if I'm playing, only ever playing casually, why did I spend $1,000 on this? You know? That's rude. Fire this up and try and run them down with our creature land. Have another voltage surge here for the Fable flipping over. Hey, Tui, thanks for 11 months. Welcome back. Oh, for sure, Wincy. Big, that's how it's always been energy. This is a good way to put it. Is it drawing cards? I think this might be an end step, try and draw 3, huh? We'll see. They could have another gold span, I suppose. Alright, chat. At this point, I think we all know where I stand as far as, like, proxies and stuff go. So I'm going to ask that we go ahead and move off of the topic now because I know otherwise we'll end up discussing it endlessly. Alright, how greedy is it to draw 3 cards with Riveteers Charm, assuming we'll hit another removal spell for Lear? Or do I just kill it and then fire... I could just kill it and then fire up the Den of the Bugbear and crack them for 6. It's definitely greedy, but is it wrong? They might counter. They can't counter my spells. Spells can't be countered. So you get to shock my cat here. That was great, right? We cleared some worthless lands off the top of our deck and we still killed their threat. Get to crack them to 7 here. I bust my banks wide open, shit. I'd rather kill Reflection than Reckoner Bankbuster, but it's also close. I am super looking forward to getting my hands on Marvel Snap. It looks really sweet. I watched their preview stream last week. Looks like they've got a lot of good ideas baked into it. For people that aren't familiar or haven't seen the news, Ben Brode, one of the original producers on Hearthstone, left Blizzard along with a number of other people a few years back, and their company is working on a Marvel card game called Marvel Snap that'll be going into closed beta sometime in the next month. It'll be on Android, iOS, and PC. The beta is Android only. Yeah, that's fine. Kenix, thanks for the tier 3 and for the over 3 years. Welcome back. So, dead to a removal spell here. Am I dead yet? I have no cards in hand. Why are you making me wait? Oh, we could draw a removal spell now. Got it. That's what it says. Never lucky. Game the third. Chat, what I'm going to say is not acknowledging that all of the sexual harassment and assault things that go on in the games industry is okay, but it's also more to say that there isn't really ethical consumption under capitalism, and if you're not familiar with whatever company you're currently playing the game of doing shitty things and supporting shitty things, it's because you haven't really looked hard enough. So you do you, but like also be aware that we're like sitting here playing Magic the Gathering, which look into the many examples of the incredibly racist and sexist practices that have been brought up about Wizards of the Coast over the years too, and know that you aren't sitting on some moral high ground sitting here playing the Wizard card game. We're also currently watching games. We're also currently watching games on Twitch, the platform which is owned by Amazon, which is owned by Jeff Bezos. Capitalism's a giant mess, which usually brings me around to my point that I'll just bring up early this time, which is if you haven't watched The Good Place, I believe it's on Netflix still, you should turn my stream off and go start it now. It's very good television. I think I want to just get the partners down here. Hey, Magician, thanks for your tier. You're welcome back. In addition to the gameplay mechanics looking good in Snap, from the discussions that they've talked about so far, it sounds like they're planning to largely monetize the game via cosmetics, with the intention being that people will be able to collect all of the cards just by playing, which is good to hear. Or more card games stepping into like the Runeterra model is great. Hey, thanks for the almost 3 years, Robo Regan. Good to have you back in chat. I think I'm gonna make a treasure with this and try and put the Warchief into play here. We do get got by a counterspell, obviously, but want to spend my lands this turn. I'm not gonna attack with this. Pushing 2 damage isn't worth letting them get a free treasure token. Hey, we're getting really close to abyssing them with this. I have to force some jump blocks. What's going on, Steve? Thanks for the almost 3.5 years. I'm looking forward to playing some Frog Descent this afternoon. Elricus, thanks for the 12 months. Welcome back. WordPress is the easiest of the CMSs to use, but I would still say you're better off if you have some familiarity with computer knowledge. You are still managing and maintaining a website. Yeah, well, I'm not attacking with Black Market Tycoon here because I want to be able to Infernal Grasp, throw the reflection when they target it. Great. We're on the scoreboard with our pile of jund cards, shit, I believe. It depends on what you're looking to do, Seth. If you're just looking to, like, pick a template and fill in text and stuff, it's pretty straightforward. But if you're looking to do anything past that that involves, like, plugins and extensions and stuff, it can be a lot more involved. Finding a pretty template and then putting text in is just, like, very similar to editing a Word document. My background is also biased a little bit because I've, like, always been very hands-on and into computers and software stuff, so. Yeah, finding a service that markets itself to beginners for websites is probably good. I do, Breadbox. We're gonna try and play some games with Mini Ship this afternoon along with Steve. Forget awful GeoCities websites. Remember working on HTML code for your MySpace page? It was such a drastic difference jumping to Facebook from that, where you couldn't edit your own stuff. Remember, there was a lot of pushback because of that. People didn't think it would be successful. And listen, chat, I want all of you at home to know that even though I can't fit all of you into my top 8, I still love you, okay? There's only 8 slots there, and someone has to not make the cut, okay? Zoomers in the audience, did you get that joke, or did I date myself? MySpace predates Zoomers being on the internet, right? Some white-black angels, maybe? Could be Esper still. Looks like angels. If the Zoomers have any questions, I can send them a message on ICQ. God bless. I don't think Square is really in the Twitch space for advertising silence. They're like a big YouTube sponsor. Raid does both. And this main deck Duress not feeling so hot at the moment. We're about to take some damages here, champ. Oh. I would say I miss IRC, but we're talking at IRC right now. Big truth, big truth. Get to find out here in a second how greedy their deck list is. Do they have a 4th Legion Angel in the sideboard, or are they playing a 2-2 split? Usually people on the ladder are playing a 3-1 split because they're all the greed. Yeah. Feels bad, man. Underdog with Gala Greeters is kind of a combo, right? 'Cause like you pay 2 life to put it into play, but then you gain 2 with the Gala Greeters. By the way, for people that live in the United States, early voting has started in many places for primary elections in various states around the country. So if you have not heard anything about the primary elections in your state, you should do a quick Google search. Make sure you're registered to vote to be involved in those. You should also find out, depending on what kind of state you live in, sometimes you need to declare a party to vote in a primary in some states. So if you want to participate, make sure you find out if you need to declare Democrat or Republican, depending on which one you're voting in. And if you plan to declare Republican, feel free to pipe up in chat for your complimentary ban. We'll see, Fnatic. If this midterm doesn't go well, nothing ever will, right? There's a lot of time between now and the fall. Alright, so easy trade here. Yeah, some states it doesn't matter, Weeds. You just walk in and it's an open primary. I would like to prefix what I'm about to say with, I am not a fan of Joe Manchin in general, but the idea that Joe Manchin is secretly a Republican ignores the fact that he's confirmed a lot of democratically nominated judges and that he votes for the Democratic Party 60% of the time currently. Past that, a more progressive person will not be elected to Joe Manchin's seat. So if the choice is between Joe Manchin or someone with an R next to their name, I'll take Joe Manchin every time. So it's fine to be critical and constructive and specific when it comes to things you're not happy with, but it's also important to acknowledge reality. So let's make sure to do that when we're here. All right, so I think I want a Riveteers Charm kill this, but I'm gonna have to sacrifice something when I do. I could just put Tenacious Underdog into play to sacrifice. I kind of like that. Oh my gosh. It tapped. Oh, I can make treasures with Black Market Tycoon though, right? Thoroughly mid-ranging this opponent into the ground. So you get to sacrifice the Tenacious UD. Draw a card. Attack for 4. Yeah, that's exactly correct, Big McLarge. Democrats still have a number of conservative and centrist members, while the Republicans purged their liberal and centrist members long ago. Yep. In a perfect world, Joe Manchin and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez would not be in the same political party. We don't live in a perfect world. We live in the United States. All right, so is it too aggro to like downtick this Valki again, downtick on another one, crack them for 10? I guess this might be their card that like puts a bunch of angels into play. 5, 6, 7, 8. And they draw an untapped land, they can make 4 angels next turn. That's probably too aggressive. I'm gonna exile one of these. I'm gonna keep this other one in the tank for now, I think. Oh, I meant to make a haste creature. Misclick. am familiar with John Fetterman. He won his primary, right? Seems like he has a lot of very reasonable positions from the things I've followed. Thanks for the 55 months, Captain. Alright, so he should have hit them for 2 more here. This should have been a cat. Yeah, black market on their turn to trigger the Gala Greeters is like, fine, I just want to push as much damage here as possible. They're still dead here, right? Especially with the Den of the Bugbear getting ready to fire up. Just in case you thought blocking was an option. In case you got any silly ideas in your head that combat could be useful here. Wow, we beat 4 Legion Angels that game, right? That was kind of impressive. Unleash good here. Probably not. Yeah, Tybalt. Tybalt is a lot of card advantage. Big agree. I think I want the Workshop Warchiefs for gaining life and stuff. Our mid had some range, yeah. Oh, we probably do want Ray here, right? That seems correct. Kitty cracked. What don't I want then? Honestly, their things tend to be a little bit bigger, although Meathook to clean up their Angel Maker seems potentially good. Maybe Voltage Surge is not needed for 1 mana removal spells, probably plenty. Universal healthcare is definitely not baseline Democratic Party at this point. It would be nice if it was, but it is not. You want to cut Tenacious Underdog? I mean, it ground here a little bit. I guess it doesn't attack well into their X4s, is true. All right, let's try trimming that. I think I'd buy that logic. Got some Chariot. Nah, we need to be able to kill them. Chariot's a lot of pressure. Just a reminder for people to utilize their Bezo dollars to support their favorite streamers. Ain't that the truth, Wargy? Thanks for the 32 months. Appreciate the Prime Bucks. Not Fuzzy Wazzy, thanks for the brand new Prime support. Wouldn't be able to be without folks like you. Happy Monday. Seems fine. Got a piece of spot removal. We've got Black Market into a Chariot into a Warchief. Do they have their 2-drop? By the way, chat, when we get to Explorer, we're gonna run back the Grixis Planeswalkers deck today. So if you want some more Nico Bolas in your life, make sure you stick around for it. I'm gonna be honest, Drunk Owl, I haven't looked at the set championship decks past the top 8 yet. I did not get a chance to watch coverage over the weekend. I pulled up the results before I went live this morning and I clicked across a couple. That's how I got through college, but with textbooks rather than deck lists. Lol. Do you think the top 8 had 0 Obnixilis? That can't possibly be right. Twitter assured me on day 1 that Obnixilis seemed to be banned and it was the next Oko. Are you telling me Twitter over-exaggerated? I'm not a big fan of the Fires of Inventions build. Rather just cast my spells. Alright, definitely just making a treasure token here. It looks like our opponent might be disconnected. Sedge. That was a good game 1. Yeah, I think I plan to play the Grixis deck tomorrow, Pierogi. I was between the Grixis Vampires and this deck today. I decided to go with this one. I think this is the 3rd one, so they lose the game when they time out this time. Obnix is really good when you sack Galta for him, dude. I definitely like the Fight Club deck, Fight Rigging deck in, what's it called? Explorer. Climbing on up the ladder, just hunting them out. Do 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 do. It's very reasonable. You got Tippity tapped land into untapped land, Black Market Tycoon. You may not know this, chat, but Black Market Tycoon and I, we go way back. We used to build roller coasters back in the day together. We lost this matchup as our first one kind of decisively. Wonder if that's the norm or not. So many lives lost in that theme park. Okay, 0 lands in there is a good beat for us. If I copy a treasure token, I can play a second Fable this turn, but playing second Fable doesn't seem very good. We'll just go ahead and crew with both of these, and then we'll attack with everything, copying the Goblin Shaman. The Jukai Naturalist, about to be a massive lifelinker here, is scary. I assume they're about to put Runamite on it. It'll be a 5/5. So we really need to top deck a removal spell here. Thankfully, we get 3 looks at it. So maybe there's a chance. Oh gosh, they have a lifelink rune for this as well. They're not looking good for our hero, Chip. Well, I mean, technically... I think I want to grasp. Yeah, I don't know if I'm supposed to attack and then Meathook or then grasp here. It could go either way. And then here it's like, do I Workshop Warchief or do I just like play the Fable and save my treasures for next turn? I guess saving my treasures is not great with the Black Market Tycoon. Another rune? God, that's brutal. So just like... So they're effectively at 25 right now? The downside to not playing Fable this turn is that I can't, I didn't get to draw Discord. Okay, so if they went block, they'd take 10, gain 6, take 4, down to 15, and then I'm just still nowhere near lethal. I think we're just dead, huh? This matchup feels pretty helpless. They just get these large lifelink creatures into play. We just can't ever do anything about it. Yeah, we're just dead. Arm not giving us control over what it hits seems not great. I hope we get Jeskai Ascendancy in the summers and the first Explorer card drop. It's one of my old favorites for sure, Hutch. Thanks for 13 months. Welcome back. Underdog seems worse than Judge. I mean, we need to be able to kill them, chat. Like, the opponent's deck has things like Showdown of the Scalds for lots of card advantage, so, like, we can't just kill their stuff. We need to be attacking them while we kill their stuff, and Tenacious Underdog is one of our best things that attacks. Been enjoying Unite since it first came out, but wow, the Decidueye sniper build, it is fantastic, Busted. It's definitely one of my favorites. We're gonna start with that this afternoon. Steve and I did some duos off stream last night with it, and Decidueye plus Frog is like such a good 1-2 combo. Just two characters that can secure and do lots of damage. Nice. 12-2 is good stuff. Definitely a good carry. What card I think is not yet on Arena for Pioneer that will get paid the most money to lose with? Ascendancy might be up there, honestly. The card's definitely a fan favorite, and it's not always good. His hand's a little slow, but I'm going to keep it on the play. I wouldn't fault people for throwing... Oh, you know what? I should play a red land on one, because if I draw the Tycoon, I get punished here. So, didn't get punished for my mistake here, but I definitely played the wrong color land on one there. Ooh, Soul Flayer is a good shout, too. I think Blastoise and Greedent are fine defenders to play Solo Slim. Yeah, there's others, not so much. I want second Chariot. Ray gets to be a combat trick against these green creatures, at least. And, like, they have a bunch of white creatures in their deck, but it's also, like, fine into Kami. And one of their green creatures is a 1/1 for 1, so it trades tempo efficient there, too. Hey, Vader, thanks for the 22. They might have a protection spell here. I can get up to 3 treasures this turn, but that doesn't really help me. Another goblin. Yes, Boros Charm. We kill the Kami, and then kill the Lifelink. We might be able to overpower this giant pile of lifelink they've assembled. They gotta get this up to a 12 for it to be lethal. If they don't get it up to a 12, Boseiju can kill the, Okay. Yeah, this runes deck, for people that haven't been keeping up with Standard, is one of the established, more popular decks of the format. Sees a good bit of play. Technically, I should have done this in response to the other trigger that we had. Alright, so they're dead to the Meathook Massacre here. Put a couple of triggers on the stack here. I'm happy with how I boarded. Let's run it back. Run it back now, y'all. Cast Wrath of God that kills you. Yeah, basically. I think Meathook Massacre is fun, exciting, and replayable. And inviting. Avocado Gory. Thanks for hanging out for over 2 years. Welcome back. Good morning, good morning. Oh, green mana bodes well for our hero. Maybe I'm supposed to play Boseiju so I can have 2 black. I don't know. I kind of want Boseiju to be a spell in this matchup, though. Their start is not particularly fast here, which is good for us. Is pretty scary. This doesn't hit them, obviously, but it does at least make us a 2-2. We're gonna lose one of these two at least. Maybe both? Does it smell like Valorous stance to anybody else? Well, I don't know that I want to crew into a Valorous stance here, right? I think I just want to pass. Is that crazy to pass? Probably gonna be able to hold it up anyways. I'm just gonna go. If they don't have it, it's great for us. Yeah, something I'll have to play into it eventually. I think it's correct. Okay, Naturalist dies to Boseiju. okay spot. They do have lifelink on their layer of the Hydra here, so they're not just out of it yet, but we got our Den of the Bugbear along with the 6 powers, so race it okay so far. Or 4-mana murder looking a-okay. Hey, thanks for resubbing for that nice round number, Impromptu. Appreciate the 2.5 years. Good morning, good morning. They definitely play safekeeping. If they have a protection spell, we'll be in trouble, but gotta go for it. Rip. Going on, Breadsy. Thanks for 13 months. Welcome back. I could have played around that by going slower. I could have let them block the 3/3, shocked their thing after combat, and then when they go to protect it, then play the Unleash. There's no guarantee that, like, that works either. They could have 2 of them. Their layer can be a 5/5 here. Alright, we can breathe. We're actually ahead for the time being. For a brief moment in time, we are ahead. Okay. Probably does it. Creature lands. I really love our creature lands. Bum 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 ba-dum. Do 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 do. And once again, Meathook Massacre ends the game very quickly. Got him hook, line, and sink him. There's some daily deals. I'll start up on this one first. This deck seemed fine. If you want to play a pile of Jund cards, this seems like a pretty reasonable pile of Jund cards. I'm not really sure where this card is supposed to excel. Like, I look at the various matchups in the format, and there isn't one that jumps out at me as, like, this card is an ace in that particular matchup. Anybody in chat have any thoughts? Where's the place I really want a 6/6 that lets me fling things? Any ideas? We're not playing Body. I mean, in this deck, is there a matchup where I want this? Yeah, maybe it's just like a blocker for opposing Goldspan Dragons. I can see that. The stat line's okay. Yeah, that's what I think. I think that's the case for it. This feels like a pet card. The rest of the deck was just like pretty reasonable, good Magic the Gathering cards. This one kind of didn't really stand out to me as like being particularly effective anywhere that we were playing. All right, let's shift gears some explore.